Dougie from Trucking Driver here. I'm out driving the latest MAN truck range, which is a brand new TGX. I've already been out in the 640 and I'm currently driving the GM cabbed 510 on a test route which takes us out from Falkirk Stadium out to Cumbernauld and back. Did drive a couple of shifts in a 510 last year at Pollock's to see what they were like, and the driveline's exactly the same on this one. We're freighted at 44 tonnes, and I think most people would agree that these engines pull really well. Coupled to the traction gearbox, we're sitting at 1200 RPM at 56 miles an hour, and it's holding its speed pretty well on the hills. We're going to do a big climb in it coming up towards the M80, M876 split and see how it gets on. But overall, early impressions of it, it's kind of hard to knock it. They've done so much work on the cab to improve things. Have been much improved. If you're familiar with the old MAN, you know you got a great big blind spot there. But as we can see now, the mirrors have been improved considerably, which is definitely a good thing. This button in here, we can lift the bunk up, and you've got a storage area there, and you've got one here, and this one will actually lift up. This should lift out. There we go. And that will give you access to one of the large outer lockers. This one on the other side is sealed. It's a nice big comfortable bunk in it as well. Seats are really nice. Yeah, look at the driver's seat there. Now here's one of the most impressive bits of it. We've got this lovely scrolling wheel device here, which will take you through. It's got two rings on it. You've got an outer ring and an inner ring, and it'll take you through all the different bits. And you've got a return button there to come back out, and you've got all your different functions in there. And that's a really nice setup. That your hand just sits nicely on this thing, this little pad here, and it's supported so you can run through everything, which MAN reckons easier than touchscreen. You also see all your heating and ventilation controls are really simply laid out. We've got a set of cup holders there, more cup holders over there, two big drawers to keep stuff in. So you can see it's the same cab shell outside, but everything has changed on the inside. This lorry has some unusual European non-doored lockers on it, which won't be actually in a UK production model. So you've got loads of space at the side of you there as well, this being the GM cab, formerly XLX. Lots of space above there for storage. So here's that stock in focus. You can see there's a lot more going on there than there was before. You've got your engine brake, gears, automatic, manual, neutral, and you just flick it into drive or reverse, and then this roller will give you manoeuvre mode, performance or efficiency. We're just having to crawl through a bit of traffic here where it's gone down to one lane. It's definitely got an impressive engine brake on it. It's a 3-stage, and you can hold on the lever lightly to get the first stage on it, or you can pull it right the way down to go for the 3rd stage. And it's quite a nice soft touch on it. When you go for the top stage, it'll introduce quite a sharp bit of downshifting, so you'll probably find that you don't need to go right to the top stage all the time. You'd get away with 1 or 2 without going straight to 3, which is what I tend to do quite a lot. Now the gearbox, this is the Pro phase, so it's got switchable modes on it, so I can go in and knock it into performance mode at the bottom of this hill, which will introduce a downshift quicker. It's no slouch in economy mode, it isn't bad, but that's just knocked us into 11th there, whereby normally we hold on to it for a bit longer. And we're holding 50 mile an hour going up here. The 510 engine's got over 2,500 newton meters of torque on it, I believe. Here we go, this is efficiency mode, tackling the hill, so you can see in this case it's going to use all the torque and drop down below 1000 RPM before it changes gear, and it'll take 11th there. This is how you're supposed to drive it. Leaving it that, these new Euro 6D engines have got that much torque low down that it's going to get up to the top of the hill, no problem in 11th. Starting to pick away at 1100 RPM there. should sense you up at the top of the hill, and it knows it's on a downhill section, so it's taking 12th early. That's just sitting with the cruise control running, and it's identified this hill here already at the top. I haven't done anything, and it's already prompted itself to move into 10th to hold itself back for the run downhill. In fact, I can actually move it back into efficiency mode there. And it's gone, it's holding engine brake, 12th gear. As you can see, the engine brake is a soft touch, so you can just touch it lightly once, touch it twice, a second time, and you'll get 2. Then you can go for the 3rd, or alternatively you can just pull it past that stop, and you'll get the maximum engine braking power out it. So we've just come off the M80 and we're going to turn around and go back in the opposite direction. And you'll see straight away from here that they've changed the steering wheel. We've now got a much smaller wheel. We've got this lovely graphics setup instead of traditional dials. It's a nice simple layout. And the gear shifting has all been moved onto this right hand column. And the engine brake, which I'll show you in a second, is up and down like that, gears back and forward, which you wouldn't really need to use much. This is the traction gearbox, and it's got a nice intelligent set of software on it. It seems to get it right. So here we go, this is a 510, loaded up, 44 tonnes, joining the motorway in performance mode. Well, that's me finished the test drive of the two MANs. The 640 is as you'd expect. It's effortless performance wise. The 510's a really strong performer as well. Notably harder sprung, I think, than the previous TGX. These have got steel on the front of them. A little bit more feedback through the steering than before. This one's got like adaptive steering in it as well, which is an option. So it's really light, but it weights up its speed. The revelation is the cab. It's completely been transformed on the inside. The layout, the controls, the build quality is all fantastic, and that's going to change the perception of MAN, I think. They've cracked it with this truck. It just depends now how they're going to do in service.